Hey, good evening, y'all. Me walking. Getting my walk on. Anyway, yeah, additional to my little truck rant. I was on my way home. Wash out, whatnot. But, yeah, I was kind of a little emotional on the aspect of the Laken Riley whole thing, too. It's like, I sat there listening to, the judge read off the verdicts and stuff, and that guy, he looked totally unfazed. And I haven't seen his sentencing yet, and I know that's the big buzz here, you know, the Laken Riley thing. But my stand on that whole thing is Biden and Harris, it has not changed. My perspective on that whole fucking thing is those two assholes should be charged with accessory for every fucking crime that happens in this country from an illegal that they let in. Yep. Till we get them all out. I'm not opposed to illegals or to immigration. Especially Mexicans and what was that other country that we had? Ecuador, Venezuela's. There's a few of them, they do concrete. And they do great concrete. They work like dogs. And they're awesome. And a lot of them are really fun to work with. So I'm not opposed to the immigration. You know, letting people in on a visa. You know, whatever. I understand some countries are crap. People are looking for asylum. I get it. They just need to come in the right way. That is all. A lot of people are, you know, disillusioned on the concepts of the human trafficking thing. Now, there's human trafficking for like females for sex trafficking type of shit. There's child trafficking. Kids are kidnapped and sold. That kind of thing. And then there's trafficking. Whereas people are paying the cartel. And the cartel are helping them get over the border. People are spending stupid money to enter illegally. And instead of taking that money and going through the process the right way. You see, the cartel is playing the, you know, the hoodwink game. Oh, yeah, everything will be good. We got it. Lock, stock, and barrel. And they're believing the bullshit. They give all their fucking money to the cartel. Cartel throws them over the border and they're peace the fuck out. Ain't no papers. Ain't no identification. Ain't no asylum applications. Ain't no help getting them legal. Sorta. Even on a temporary. Nothing. These people are... They're being betrayed and manipulated, and they're paying the cartel to help them get across the border. That's where cartel's making a lot of their money. The cartel's doing the barter flip, where it's like, oh, all right, well, I'll give you a discount if you mule these drugs with you. People like, people ain't figured that out yet. They're muling all drugs, not just fentanyl. Muling all of them. Shit, stuff's flying in. Private planes. It's nasty business. So, however, that guy from Venezuela, which is across the Panama Canal, got up here. He was paid, or he paid them something for him to come in. That or he's got relatives north of the Panama Canal. He ain't the only one. There's a, what is it? 300,000 more? Did the same thing. The cartel helped them in. And they're just wreaking havoc wherever they go. But yeah, I was listening to Squirrel earlier. God, she's awesome. I love the way her brain works. Yeah. she rambles and branches as bad as I do. Yeah, her title's appropriate. Mine is kind of intermingled. I got political issues. I got girly issues. I got relationship issues. I got shit going on. I got family fucking issues. You know, I got a sister who's, you know, her brain is wiped by the college indoctrination of Colorado. So, you know, it's like they all thought they had to run out and go get a vaccine or they were going to die. Well, it's so fucking twisted and demented out there is that my nephew, you know, my sister brought my nephew to the doctor. And, the doctor was like, is he vaccinated? And my sister was like, yeah. She's like, good, because if he wasn't, I wasn't going to treat him. And she just broke her oath. Based on groupthink. Yeah, he got fucked up there for a while. I was just like, yo, fucking stupid. You know, and I even tell him, I was like, well, I don't see you discriminating against me. And they're like, well, I didn't get fucking vaccinated. I think I've been jabbed enough in my life. I don't need any more shit. They still don't know what was exactly wrong with me. The one day that I went to the ER or clinic or whatever and saw my actual, you know, primary care doctor, and she was a captain. She did a bunch of blood work and she was like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't know, it might have been that double typhoid shot they gave me when I came back. She was like, what? I said, yeah. He accidentally gave me 2. I said, what was that other one? Oh, what? I gave you 2. Oh, well, there's something I need to look out for. It didn't register as typhoid, but it was still the point. I was sicker than a fucking dog. Yeah, medical systems fuck up. They fuck up badly. They don't want to own it. They don't want to be accountable. That's why malpractice insurance is so fucking high. It's too much pride and ego to say, yep, it was me. I fucked up. Ain't none of them gonna do that. They're sitting on $500,000 worth of fucking student loans. Credentialing is gonna go out the fucking window. How they gonna pay that fucking surmountable debt? Put it on deferment and then go unalive themselves? Is the family gonna pick it up? My doctor is still young. So, thank God she works with a bunch of old crotchety ladies like me. In that clinic. Because the nurse has probably been like, yeah, her back pain's probably her menopause. She's probably got too much cortisol. Her bones are aching because of menopause. She's got menopause. She's 52. She got menopause. And this woman is like probably 35. If that. She has no idea. It's like, I can't wait. When you enter it, then you'll call me. Be like, is this normal? Yeah, doc, it's fucking normal. Here, let me walk you through it. Here's some videos. Boom, 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 boom. So, yeah, Carrie Ann Wright, she's awesome. Oh my God, this woman is just, she is so spot on. So I got a couple of new supplements that are menopause focused. So we're going to do those for a few months. And I bought a new book today from Marty McCary, Blind Spots. Basically talks about how the American medical system fucks up, gets everybody into groupthink, and then they can't undo it. Kind of like the great cholesterol myth, where they took the concepts, theory of an epidemiologist, and he was so brash and like that nobody wanted to fucking argue with him, and they took it. Yeah, they basically canonized his theory as standardized gospel. And that's where saturated fat went out the window and all the seed oils came in to replace it. That's when McDonald's finally came on board. I don't know, late 70s, finally. Because the guy had sat there and debated it for fucking 2 decades, I think. Eisenhower, when he had a heart attack. His name was Ansel Keys. And that went around the world 4 times. And then, of course, it was like in the 40s or 50s when they started making margarine. Margarine used to be white. It used to have this little packet in it. And I remember this because they still used them even in the 70s. But the upper class wanted it already mixed in. So they had versions where you mixed it in yourself, the yellow dye that everybody gets cancer from. Yeah, that shit. It was, what's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, it was probably the healthier version back then, but then they needed to make a cheaper version to mass produce, so they started using the nasty one. So then started mixing it in, so that's how everybody, anybody who was born 1977 and later, knows margarine as always being in a stick and always being yellow. I was really little. God, it was probably 1974. I remember seeing it in my grandma's kitchen. She'd have to take the dish and open up the pack, put it in there and stir it. So anyway, margarine originally was just basically a stick of Crisco with the flavoring, the yellow flavoring, whatever. And then it was cheaper than butter, and it's still cheaper than butter. Well, then Eisenhower has his heart attack. Ansel Keys jumps on board. He's an epidemiologist. He studies bugs or sexual behaviors of bugs. Anyway, everybody believes him. And then you get Weston Childs on board, and he's fighting it, and Mary Enig's fighting it, and they're all fighting it. And then out of the shadows comes the journalist. So you got Nina Teicholz and Gary Staub. They start beating it with a rock and being like, nope, this ain't right. She spends 10 years studying dietary fats and writes an entire book called The Big Fat Surprise. Y'all should read it. So yeah, I think I have that book actually. I also have the book from Dr. Barry, Lies My Doctor Told Me. I've got Dr. Sinatra's book, The Great Cholesterol Myth. I've got that one. God, what was that other one? There's one more. I can't remember. But yeah, I've studied them all. I've been studying this issue with keto and seed oils and whatnot since YouTube started. And as soon as there was a video on it, it was like I was on lock. Get my learn on. But I stopped eating margarine in high school. I had my own apartment in my senior year. Last couple of months of my senior year, I moved out. And I think it's because I read somewhere, some magazine article somewhere, probably Heavy Metal magazine, it might have had an article in there, you know, some random shit. It said, yeah, margarine's one ingredient away from plastic. So I stopped eating margarine. Yeah, that's all it took. Well, my dad never caught on because he was about 61, almost 62, when he died of a massive coronary. 5 years after he had a quadruple bypass. He never did have a heart attack. That was the heart attack. The heart attack killed him. That one. After they had fixed it. After they fixed it. After he'd been on a statin for 5 years. And 2 years into it, he came down as a pre-diabetic. He had to check his sugar every day. It really wasn't even that bad. I remember they wanted his blood sugar to be down to 70 something. So he was like torquing out all of his, you know, his diet and everything, trying to comply, trying to follow the directions. His blood sugar was a 95 in the morning. When I was doing keto and I was dropping weight, I had dawn effect. That's when as soon as you wake up in the morning, your body pushes all the sugar from the day before into your system, gives you something to eat, because I was doing intermittent fasting too. So my blood sugar actually wouldn't even drop until I ate one hard-boiled egg. It would not go to normal. It stayed there until I ate something to trigger an insulin response. That's how ketogenic I was. My insulin didn't want the sugar. Wasn't even looking for it. I wasn't even producing it. It wasn't until I ate something hit my stomach in the morning with the high blood sugar did my insulin trigger to burn it off. And I go out of ketosis for about 6 hours, and then I go right back into it. Yep. I was probably still on ketosis, just insulin was feeding my cells what they needed from the sugar push that I got when I woke up. They call it the dawn effect. Other things I learned when I was poking around fighting the doctors behind their backs for ever suggesting a statin was, if your T3 is low, you're likely to have high cholesterol. If you have high cortisol, you are likely to have high cholesterol. Women above the age of 50 are going to have high cholesterol. They are fucking their bodies up trying to comply to the doctor's standards with these thresholds that keep dropping. You see, when I graduated high school, threshold was 200. Across the board, females, males, same thing. Mine was a 187. My doctor, our primary care doctor, was like, it's a little high for someone her age. My mom's like, she hit puberty this age. You know, she's 18 years old in a 24-year-old body. Because she developed faster. Yeah. So then it fluctuated somewhere between 219 and 225, which is actually pretty good for me. For like years. And they kept lecturing, oh, you need to get your cholesterol down. So here I'm eating oatmeal every day, and I'm turning into a fucking heifer. Because it's not doing anything to help the cholesterol at all. All it's doing is packing fat onto my ass. So I went through that for about 2 or 3 years. Eventually, I hit the gym, and I started bodybuilding. And yeah, I was chiseled. And I ate whatever I want. And I was like, veins, washboard stomach, cholesterol, 246. Didn't fucking budge. I ran. I lifted weights like a beast. Shit, I was curling 35-pound dumbbells and I was like 5 months pregnant. My maternal PT instructor was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "What I normally do." She's like, "You're kidding." I was like, "No. The only thing I ain't gonna do is run and jump. And crunches, obviously. The big ball in the front. But I can still work my legs and my arms. Same way I did before. Other than the endurance. High impact running and whatnot." She was like, "Wow." I said, "Yeah, their profile is a joke. That's a dead man profile. The profile that they give in the military is you can't lift more than 10 pounds. Excuse me? A gallon of milk is 8 fucking pounds. And if you carry that in one hand and a bag of groceries in the other, what am I supposed to make like 90 fucking trips to the car when I unload grocery? Anywho, so yeah, that's my my medical rant. A lot of doctors coming out of medical school, they are being indoctrinated with the groupthink mentality. This is what the ADA said, or the AMA says. This is what the FDA has. This is what the pharmaceuticals want. Here's your kickback when you prescribe this. They're not thinking outside the box, and they don't want to. Because they got to keep their careers safe till the debts are paid. That's why I don't listen to my doctors that are in the VA. Most of them are still paying off their debts. I listen to what people who don't have debts say, because they're not afraid. The AMA can chase them down if they want to, but they got to prove them wrong to do it. Yeah, it's just too much fucking money because all these doctors are coming out of the woodwork. Dr. Barry's one of them. He's probably the best, and he's local. And, yeah, I think my mom used to work with Nisha, but my mom didn't recognize her. I was like, let me see if I can find an older picture of her somewhere on her page. Yeah. So, anyway. I wish he would be my primary care, and then I wouldn't have to have these talks. But if I didn't have to have these talks, I wouldn't be able to outwardly educate somebody somewhere. So, yeah, if your doctor is giving you a runaround and you don't think what they're doing is right, start looking at some of these medical podcasts. That's where I got all my education from. Oh, not to mention I was pre-med for a while there. Until I realized, yeah, we're not going to be able to do this with a 15-month-old child. Inorganic chemistry's going out the fucking window, because... yeah. Ain't gonna happen. We're gonna fail that motherfucker. So, axe that idea. Anyway. But, my brain's good for it. Memorize the medical aspects of things. I understand what foods do what supplements do what. If I hear about one, I read up on it, I go research it. If it sounds legit, I go order it. We'll try it for 3 months, see what happens. Yeah. In the event of a shit hit the fan moment, I've got supplements for half the neighborhood. Because I stockpile them. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I've been doing this almost an hour. Look at that. Yeah, if I keep this up, I might be able to wear a bikini by summer.